from wildfoxstitchery here on YouTube and on Instagram. If you are new here, this is a channel mostly about cross-stitching. I'm glad you're here to hang out with me this morning. Today is Saturday, June 21st. I just want to also say thank you for all the likes and comments on previous videos and for subscribing. If you are new and you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what I've been stitching on in the last 2 weeks since I filmed my last update. I do have one finish this week, which is really exciting. I don't get too many of those. It was a stitch that I was working on during the boys' baseball game, so I would bring it with me whenever it wasn't raining, which seems to happen a lot lately. But anyways, I worked on it in the last couple weeks. I did get it finished. It is called Hare and Strawberries by Wanderling Stitches. Let me grab it here. I just finished it up on their game on Thursday night. So this was for the Strawberry Moon stitch along that Marjorie Made is hosting. So that is why I started it. Here is what it looks like, all finished. It's not ironed yet, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm probably going to find a frame and put it up in my dining room. I have these shelves in my dining room where I am starting to put out things that I find, and it's like a rainbow theme. So maybe I'll post a picture over here so you can see what I'm talking about. But I think this one would go perfect on the shelf with the red items. And there's a golden bunny statue on that shelf as well. So I think it would fit in perfectly there. So that's probably what I'm gonna do with this. I did change all the colors. So these aren't what the pattern calls for. I'll show you the picture of the pattern here. Maybe you can kind of tell with this printout, but I just liked these colors better than the ones that were on here. So this was a 25 count even weave, and it's like a light blue color. I don't know what it is because it came from a thrift store. That is why, and it's just 2/2, but it's pretty big stitches since it's 25 count. But it made it easy to work on while watching a baseball game. So now I'll have to find another easy project like that that's I can bring with me to the games. We still have quite a few more of those. That was my finish for this week. So let's take a look at what's next. Let's look at, there is a project that I showed in my last video. It's a long dog sampler. It's called Variant of Interest. I have quite a bit done, but the only thing is I only did half the stitches so far. So I need to finish crossing all the X's before I can move on in the pattern. So it's going to be a lot of work crossing them all because there's a lot done. So what I'm doing is every morning I put a strand of floss in, and I've been doing that for the last 3 weeks probably. So you might not be able to see a difference in what it looked like before, which I'll post here before I started doing the crossing of the stitches. And this is what it looks like now. So you can see I've done a lot more around here. They're all crossed. Some of the purple, the darker purple is filled in now. But you can also see I have a lot more to do before I can move on here. So I will keep doing that one strand a day before I do anything else, because eventually I will be able to move on. and fill in some of these spots and go on down the pattern. This is a pretty long pattern. Yeah. So the colors I'm using on this is just an 18 count Ada, and it's DMC colors, and I have them here. So it's a 3835, that's the pink color, and then the purple is 3746. I have this green here. I will probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do there. I might pick it out, or I might fill in some areas. We'll see. I wasn't exactly happy with my color choices on that one, but actually it looks pretty good, I think, especially once I fill in the crosses. So I will keep working on that. What's next? Let's see. I have a strand a day project I've been working on because I'm so close to finishing it. Let me check and see what percentage I'm at right now. I am at 93% done. So it's very, very close. And that is my stitch along from, called the Secret Grove. That's from Needlelot Designs. So I will show you here. So I've got all of this done. On the very bottom here, I am working on these books right now. I finished up the frog except for these little pom-poms on his hat. I just had to fill in a few stitches there. I did this card. So yeah, 93% done. I'm getting so close. So I do, on this one, actually I do 100, maybe I said that already, but I do 100 stitches a day, at least. So I've been doing that, and I'm gonna keep doing that until this is done, because it would be nice being so close to just finish that up. And also, she has a new stitch along coming out here soon. I think it's August. That I'll probably end up doing because I really love her patterns and her designs. So that is something to look forward to and a reason to get this one finished up. Okay, and then another project that I've been doing, working on a little bit every day in the mornings, and I don't have like a set goal or anything, I just work on it, and it's probably between 200 to 300 stitches a day I've been putting in on it. But it's another Long Dog Samplers, and it is my Fishy Goings On. So this is my most recent Long Dog, yeah, my most recent Long Dog start, and I am, let's see what percentage I am here. This one is at 32.24% completed. So I am getting quite a bit done on there. So I'll show you here, this is what it's gonna look like in the end, a picture of it, and then I think I can find a picture of what it looked like before. Hopefully, I'll put that here, and I will grab it here so I can show you what it looks like now. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna put this away or keep it out and keep working on it a little bit every so often, because I would love to get it done. I mean, it's only at 32% done, but I feel like I could finish it this year. So this is where I am. I've been working on this big shark here. That's a lot of stitches. I had this cat, finished up the ring. I'm trying to add in all the little pieces that I missed, and I added to the border to keep going on that. There's still another border around the edge of this that's going to be the dark blue color. I think it's just 2 rows that go all the way around. So I will not do that until the very end. But yeah, so there's another loop here, and then the third loop will be this dark blue color. So I really like how this is turning out. It's on a 32 count even weave Lugana, which I love using. It's my favorite fabric I've found out this year. So, and it's with DMC thread. There is 4 colors. I can tell you what they are here, if I can find it real quick. It is $6.80, and that's the gold color, $37.50, $8.26, and $9.32. So that is one of my favorite projects. I say that almost every time, I think, but I really enjoy working on that one. Okay, what is next? So then there's another one. It's kind of my travel project. I had it, this is one that I work on in the car. It's not really the best because it's 1/1 on 28 count Jovelin even weave. I gotta grab it. Okay, I have grabbed it. I don't know if I can find, obviously I wasn't prepared as well as I should be. I will just put it up here because I can't find it right this second. But it is Heartstring Samplery Coffee Quaker. And I'm doing it monochromatically, so I'm only using one color. This is where I'm at. This one must be getting fairly close to being done too. It's a paper pattern, so I don't know for sure. I'm working right now on this motif up here, which is a fairly big one. Obviously there's more here, and I think there's something over here still. But I don't care for the fabric, but I really like how it's turning out anyways. So I'll keep working on this when I can. It's 3808, I believe. Let me just double check though. It's the one I have a cone of. Yeah, DMC 3808 is the color. I will see if I have a picture of what it looked like before. I think it's been a while since I've shown you that one. I kind of had it set aside and forgot about it when I was working on that Hare and Strawberries one. So that was my travel project. That's not going to be the one I take to baseball games though, because that's just kind of tricky to work on. So what is next? Next, I will show you my new starts. So I have a few new starts since the last video. I've been going a little crazy with new starts lately, but you know what? I'm not worried about it. I get quite a bit done when I do start them, and so I feel like it's okay to have a few more whips because I will get to them eventually. So the first one is one that I saw Emily at Cookies and Cross Stitch. She just started it too, and I had seen it on the Kooler Design website when I was looking there. So I didn't realize you could go and buy these patterns as PDFs. So I was like, I am gonna start it with you, Emily, and I told her that. And by the way, she just posted recently her first Flosstube, so I'll link her down below and you can go and check her out. It was a great Flosstube, a great first video. So it's called Gathering Honey. Like I said, it's Kooler Designs. This is where I've gotten to on that new start. I don't know why, I just really like these old samplers with all the backstitch. Lots of backstitch just in this first section here. So I thought it's turning out really nice. And you'll see from the picture what it's gonna look like in the end. And this is a piece of 18 count Ada. I don't know what it's called. It's Picture This Plus, I know that. It's kind of a ivory color. And I had cut it in half, but before I could even start, and maybe you can tell a little bit here, but I had started another project in the middle that I wasn't gonna work on. So I had to pick out a lot of stitches before I could start this one. But I'm happy with the fabric and I'm happy with how that's turning out, and it's gonna be so pretty when it's done. So that was that new start. Another new start was a whip go call. And I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing whip go because I have other plans coming up this year, which we'll talk about later. So I may not continue with whip go, we'll see. But this was one of the whip go calls for June, and it was Persephone's Garden by JedXstitch. This is what it looks like. And I'm stitching it on Silver Fox, which is a 32 count Lugana even weave by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using the DMC colors for it. This is how far I've gotten. Fold it up here. I really enjoy working on this one. But I got quite a bit in for 3 days of working on it. Let me see where I'm at here. Yeah, so this is 17.12% done. So I can't wait to work on this one some more because I really like this one. It's enjoyable to stitch on. So that was another new start. Okay, so another new start was a full coverage that was spun on the wheel, and it's just a Darth Vader pattern. I don't know what it's called. I guess it's called Darth Vader. It's from Etsy. I'll show you here what it's gonna look like. It's not a big one. This is what it's gonna look like. Lots of 310. So it's 150 by 210. And I worked on that for 3 days about, and I'm at 10% done, 10.14% done. So this is what I got to. So that was a fun one. Lots of black, so I was kind of alternating one strand of black, because this is all going to be black fill-in, and then doing another strand of color here, just to break it up a little bit. But yeah, so in 3 days, 10% done. Theoretically, that wouldn't take too long to finish if it gets spun on the wheel again a few more times. And then let's see, I have 2 other full coverages that I worked on the last 2 weeks. One is a big one. It's Heaven and Earth Designs Mint and Roses. The artist is Bente Schlick. So let me pull that out here. This is what it's gonna look like. And this is what, if I can find a picture, because I forgot to take a picture before I started working on it, but this is what it looked like before. And this is how far I've gotten. So you can see I was doing all of one color. I think it was 500, filling that in, and now I started going back and filling in the other colors here. Now I know it only looks like it's just one color, but there's actually like at least 6 or 8 colors in this section already. I guess you can probably tell down here there's some different colors. So this is a big one. It is 525 by 762 stitches. And I think I worked on that all week, so probably about 5 days of work. And I didn't keep track of stitches because I've been bad about that lately, but I'm not too concerned because I don't think it's that big a deal. So the percentage that I'm at is 1.65% complete on that one. So I have stitched all together, not just in the last 5 days. I'm pulling it up here. I have 6,596 stitches done, and there are a total of 400,050 stitches on that one. Okay, so I have one more full coverage to show you, and I am currently working on that, so it's still in the frame. Or in the Q-snap. I have that one in a Q-snap. And that is a mini by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's called Mini Watchmen. Mini Watchers? Let me look. Something like that. Mini Watchmen. So this is what it's gonna look like. I'll put a picture on here because the printout is really small and hard to see. And then this is what I had when I started. I've only worked on this one day. I worked on it yesterday. And I put in probably about 600 stitches yesterday at least. So this is where I'm at now. So this is on a piece of 18 count 8 I had. So that's why I'm using it. I don't normally like to use 18 count for, especially unmarked, for ungridded, I guess I should say, ungridded for full coverage, because it just takes, it's a lot longer to do a full cross than it is a half cross. And I had to draw on the grid lines because it's just so much easier with the grid lines on there. So I'll be drawing those out. So I drew those out yesterday and put in almost 600 stitches. I am at now 1.69% done. This is a mini, so I will keep working on this one today and tomorrow and however long I feel like working on it. I guess I don't really have any set plans for how long I work on things, just 2, 3, 5 days even, and then I'll switch to another project. Is that everything? I believe that's everything I've worked on in 2 weeks. So I feel like it's working well, just kind of doing what I want and not really having set plans. This way I'm touching a lot more than I was before. Obviously getting a lot more new starts, which I'm okay with. I think I have a total of, and this 70 projects, and I haven't started all of them yet. So just 70 that I have ready to start and art, and along with my whips that I already have. So they might not all get started this year because I feel like I'm getting a little ahead of myself with too many starts lately, but actually now that I say that, I have quite a few that I know I will be doing before the end of the year, especially in July with Christmas in July stitching that I'm going to be doing, and I will probably film an extra video going over the plans I have for Christmas in July. But since I think I have one project, Christmas project already going, already a whip I don't have that many. So the ones I have that I'm gonna work on are all gonna have to be new starts because I don't have them started yet. So that's my plan for July. I also have a plan to do a mid-year whip parade. I will probably do that next weekend if I can, as long as we're not too busy. So at that time, I'll show you all of those 70 whips, maybe? Whips and planned whips. So possibly. I might. I'm not sure if I'll show you the ones that I haven't started yet. We'll see. So that is part of the plan for the next couple of weeks here. Like I said, I'll keep adding one strand a day to variant of interest, trying to get that all crossed. And then I will keep doing 100 stitches a day on Secret Grove to get that finished up. I will spin the wheel whenever I am done working on whatever the project is that I'm working on currently and pick another one. I'll probably alternate between full coverage and then the non-full coverage, which would be all my other whips and kits. I am supposed to start She Mad Hatter Dreams for Whip Go, but like I said, I might not continue with Whip Go just because I'm not sure I want to start that right this second with all the other new starts I have. Oh, actually, there's one more whip or new start that I completely forgot about telling you. So let me tell you about that right now. It's a seasonal sampler. It's by Stitchrovia. It's from the book Cross Stitch for the Earth. And it's just, I'll show you a picture here. Actually, I'll pull out the book and show you here. So it's from this book. It is this one. So as you can see, there's a section for each season in that sampler. I am starting with the summer one. I just started it yesterday for the first day of summer. And I'll show you how far I got. I thought it was a pretty good start for only working on it a little bit yesterday. Here we are. I'm doing this on 18 count Ada that I had. Trying to use up all my fabric that I have sitting around that needs to get used up. So I'm working on the summer section. Started in the middle here. And I will try to finish up the summer section, obviously during summer, and then I can move on to fall, etc. if it all goes as planned. And if I can keep working on this every so often, I'll keep it out just so I can try to finish that up before the end of summer here. And I saw that Jess from Slow and Stitches was also doing the same thing. I think she started in spring though. So she's on to the summer section, her second section. She said she was doing a stitch along or an unofficial stitch along for that. So I told her I'd join her with that. I don't know if she has a hashtag or anything for that, but I am joining her stitch along. So that is fun. And it's always fun to stitch with other people stitching the same thing. So yeah, I can't believe I forgot to include that in with my whips. It's on my list, but I just skipped right over it. Yeah, so I'll keep working on that and spinning the wheel. And then there is, okay, so now that we've gone over the plans, as such as they are, and these plans are always subject to change because I might change my mind on how I do things, who knows. I'm just going to mention there are some people who are already putting out their mid-year whip parades, which I really enjoy watching, any whip parade. It's just so fun to see everybody's projects that you don't always see on their regular videos. So I'm just going to mention a few that I watched that I really enjoyed. The 310 Stitcher, Jade the 310 Stitcher, I watched hers and that was great. Mini Game Stitcher had her whip parade up and that was fun to see. She hasn't posted in a while, so it's good to see her posting again. Callie Stitches had her whip parade with her friend Stephanie, and Samantha at Kansas City Stitcher, I watched her whip parade, and that was fun. I also watched Lacey the Sleepy Stitcher. I watched her whip parade. I really enjoy watching other people who do a lot of full coverage pieces, kind of like I do. I feel like full coverage is the thing that I like working on the best, and so yeah, I really enjoy working on full coverage. I don't know why, because it doesn't seem like you get very far, but the process is just really enjoyable for me. So yeah, those are the whip parades. I will link the channels below in case you want to go check them out too. And then our last section is life updates. Last week the boys had their birthday party with a couple of their friends. They had a sleepover, they had pizza, they watched a movie, they watched the Minecraft movie, which they all loved, and they played video games, of course, because that's a lot. That's what teenage boys do, it seems like. And then they had a sleepover with one of their friends, so they had a lot of fun. The twins haven't gotten to their official birthday yet, but they're going to be 12 this coming week, and my oldest is 13 now. He had his official birthday on Tuesday, so that's been fun. Oh, and then the thing that we're doing for them for their birthdays is we're redoing their bedroom. So they picked out the paint that they want us to paint the walls, and we are getting them loft beds. So they're all three gonna have a loft bed. My oldest has his own room, the twins share a room, and so that will just give them more room in their desk. It comes with a desk underneath, so it'll be kind of fun for them. We're gonna put up LED lights around the room, of course, which is gonna be awesome. And then they both picked out black. So, and our basement, and their rooms are in the basement, which is fine. And I don't mind black rooms, because I already have the basement is already painted black with a big colorful mural behind our workout area that I am working on / mostly finished with. I'll post a picture here just because I'm talking about it and it might be interesting for you to see. So yeah, I painted that mural. I still need to do some touch-up painting, but yeah, that hasn't happened yet. But it still looks cool as it is. And the rest of the basement is black, so now their rooms were bright colors. Now they're gonna also be black. So lots of black in the basement. And then let's see. Yeah, but their rooms are gonna look awesome when we're done with them. And we finished painting the oldest, his room. The loft bed partially came yesterday, so we were gonna put it together, and then we realized that it's supposed to come in 2 boxes, and we only got the 1 box, so hopefully that other box shows up today. We'll see. Otherwise, I don't know what we're gonna do. And we do have the other 2 loft beds. They were different ones, so I think they all came in 1 box, I hope, when we open it up. But we still have to clear out their room and paint it and everything, and scrub the carpets before we put everything back in. Yeah, and the other thing we are doing is baseball games twice a week. Lots of baseball games, lots of practice in between. And I am still working on getting back into running. I've been running the last couple of weeks. I did run this morning too. It's so humid that it feels like it's hard to breathe. So it's just not easy to run outside right now, even at 7 in the morning this morning, because we had some pretty big storms last night come through, and it made it even more humid. So from when it's like that, I think I'm just gonna stick with the treadmill, because it's not a lot easier that way. But anyways, so the training for the half marathon starts coming up in July, so we'll start ramping up training a little bit again pretty soon here. But right now I'm just kind of running when I want to, a few times a week. So, so yeah, that is what is going on now we are gonna go do some shopping. They have birthday money they want to spend from at the mall, so we'll go take a look there, and I hope to also look at some thrift stores, so we'll see if that happens. So I hope you have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.